How to pack medications for cruise travel in 2025. New cruise rules. So, you're packing for your cruise. Sun hat? Check. Bathing suit? Check. Medications? Wait, how exactly are you supposed to pack those? Hey cruisers, welcome back to Cruise for You. I had a lot of requests to make a video on how to pack medications for cruise travel, and for good reason. Because if you get this wrong, it's not just an inconvenience. It could mean your meds get taken away, or worse, you get denied boarding altogether. And trust me, cruise lines don't play around with this stuff. Now most of us assume, I've flown with my meds before, I'll just do the same thing. But cruise lines, and the countries they stop in, often have completely different rules. Some of them make airport security look like a breeze. In this video, we're breaking down everything you need to know about packing prescription meds, over-the-counter items, banned substances, some of which will definitely surprise you, and the simple mistakes that have gotten real cruisers denied boarding. Yes, even for things as small as a pill container. So whether you're a seasoned sailor or packing for your very first cruise, stick around, because we're making sure your medications don't ruin your vacation before it even starts. Let's jump in. Tip number 1. Keep all medications in your carry-on, not checked bags. This one's a classic mistake that catches a lot of people off guard, especially if you're flying to your cruise port. Always pack your medications in your carry-on. Not in your checked suitcase, not in your husband's backpack, not in that mystery pouch you toss into your luggage and forget exists until day 3. Because here's the thing, luggage gets lost. Not all the time, but enough that it's a gamble you don't want to take when it comes to your meds. And if you're flying in the morning of your cruise, which you shouldn't be by the way, you could miss your ship and your prescriptions. Worse yet, I've heard of cruisers whose checked bags made it onto the ship, but got delayed or misplaced until day 2. Imagine needing your heart medication or insulin and having to wait 24 hours to find it. So here's the rule. Carry your meds on you. Ideally, in your personal item, something that stays with you at all times. Your tote, your backpack, your oversized fanny pack, whatever works. Even on embarkation day, when you hand your main suitcase over to porters, make sure your meds are in your carry-on. You won't see that checked bag again until your cabin is ready hours later, and that's if it shows up when it's supposed to. Tip number 2. Keep medications in their original packaging. Yes, really. This one sounds like overkill, but it's more important than you think. If you're cruising in 2025, you need to keep your prescription meds in their original packaging with the pharmacy label on it. Cruise lines recommend it, airport security may expect it, and customs agents at foreign ports can demand it. I know, it's tempting to toss all your pills into one of those cute little weekly organizers. But if a security officer asks what those tiny white tablets are, and you respond with, I think that's my allergy med, or maybe it's a probiotic, you're going to get some funny looks, and possibly a secondary inspection. Worse yet, some passengers have been denied boarding or had medications confiscated simply because they were in unmarked containers. That's a pretty pricey souvenir to lose, especially if it's something you can't replace easily in a foreign country. Now, if you're traveling domestically in the US, TSA usually lets you use organizers, but on a cruise, especially international ones, it's smarter to play it safe. Keep your prescriptions in their original bottles with labels that match your ID. If your name's Emma on your passport but Emily on the pill bottle, expect questions. Bonus tip, take a photo of your prescription labels and dosages before you travel. That way, if anything does go missing, you've got proof, and it's easier to replace or explain if needed. Also, fun fact, TSA doesn't care if your vitamin D and your sleep aid are chilling in the same box, but the Italian customs officer in Rome? He might care a lot more. Tip number 3. Check if your meds are legal in every country on your itinerary. Alright, this one might shock you. Just because a medication is legal in your country doesn't mean it's legal in the country you're visiting. And on a cruise, you're potentially hitting 3, 5, 7 different countries in 1 week, each with their own rules. Let's say you're headed to the Caribbean, or even Southeast Asia. Did you know that something as basic as Vicks inhalers, Sudafed, or even some sleeping pills like Ambien are banned in places like Japan, Singapore, and parts of Mexico? That's right, your go-to cold meds could get flagged at customs. And in some places, even common ADHD medications like Adderall or Ritalin are considered controlled substances. If you're carrying them without proper paperwork, you could be in for a very uncomfortable conversation. or worse. One cruiser shared a story about being held up at the port in Dubai simply because she brought in a medication that had codeine in it, something you can buy over the counter in her home country. But in the UAE, it's a no-go without prior approval and documentation. She missed boarding. Full stop. So here's your move. Check the laws of every country on your cruise itinerary. Look at both prescription and over-the-counter meds. If in doubt, bring a doctor's note or prescription copy, especially for anything that could be seen as a controlled substance. If you're not sure where to look, the U.S. State Department and cruise line FAQs often list common banned medications by country. It only takes 10 minutes of research, and it could save your whole cruise. Tip number 4. Bring a paper backup of your prescriptions. Yes, even in 2025. All right, let's talk backups. In an age where there's an app for that, it might seem old-fashioned to carry around printed copies of your prescriptions. But when you're traveling, especially internationally or boarding a cruise, it can be a lifesaver. Imagine this. Your luggage gets lost, your pill bottle cracks open, or security questions what's in your weekly pill organizer. If you've got a paper copy of your prescription with the drug's generic name, dosage, and your doctor's contact info, you've got proof it's legit. This can help with replacing medications at port or explaining things at customs if needed. It doesn't need to be a stack of documents either. Just one page, tucked into your carry-on, or even stored as a photo on your phone can make all the difference. And if your cruise ship's medical team needs to confirm something, you won't be stuck trying to remember a medication name that sounds like it came out of a spelling bee championship. Bonus tip? Ask your doctor to note the purpose of each medication. It can help medical staff or customs agents understand why you have it, especially if it's something restricted in certain countries. Tip number 5. Pack extra doses, more than you think you'll need. Here's a scenario nobody wants to deal with. Your cruise gets delayed by a storm. Or maybe there's a mechanical issue, and your return is pushed back 24 to 48 hours. Guess what happens if you only packed just enough meds to last the week? Cruise lines do not stock a wide variety of medications in their onboard medical centers. And even if you dock in a port, getting a prescription filled in another country can be complicated, especially if it's a medication that's tightly regulated. That's why it's so important to pack at least 2 to 3 extra days' worth of your prescription meds, just in case. Some seasoned cruisers even go for a full week's backup, especially if the medication is critical and hard to replace. And don't forget things like contact lenses, inhalers, insulin, or anything that comes in limited supply. Overpack. The future you might thank past you when the ship announces a change in itinerary, or worse, an unexpected delay getting back home. Tip number 6. Separate medications that need to stay cool. Not all meds can survive a tropical cruise in your beach tote. Some medications, like certain insulins, biologics, or eye drops, need to be kept cool. The catch? Most cruise cabins don't have true refrigerators. They've got mini fridges meant for drinks, not temperature-sensitive meds. So what's the fix? First, bring a small, soft-sided cooler or insulated medication bag. Add in frozen gel packs, frozen solid, or they may get confiscated, and declare them at security. Be upfront. They'll usually let you bring them on board, especially for medical use. Second, when you board, ask your cabin steward for assistance. Some cruise lines allow you to store important medications with guest services or in the ship's medical center fridge if needed. One cruiser told a story about how their insulin overheated during embarkation day because it was stored in a carry-on left in the sun for hours. That one simple oversight? It ruined the entire supply. The takeaway: plan ahead for anything that can't handle heat, because the ship might be cool inside, but that Caribbean sun? Brutal. Before we get to the last quick tip, if you found this helpful so far, it would mean a lot if you tap that subscribe button. It's free, it supports the channel, and it helps more cruisers stay prepared, not panicked. So thanks in advance. I really appreciate it. Okay, final heads up before you sail. Some medications are banned from cruise ships, no matter what country you're from, even if they're legal where you live. That includes medical marijuana, CBD products, and certain controlled medications like strong opioids or ADHD meds without paperwork. Even if it's for medical use, cruise lines follow international maritime law and port regulations. So, if it's banned, it's banned. Don't take the risk. All right, that wraps it up. If you want even more cruise hacks, don't miss the video waiting on the end screen. Thanks for watching, and happy cruising!